During this first stage of labor, contractions are beginning but are usually not visibly noticeable. In the second stage of labor, a cat will show active signs of straining. This is the stage where the kitten passes through the pelvis. It usually takes 5 to 30 minutes for a single kitten to be delivered. The first kitten is normally born within 30 minutes of straining starting, and following kittens should come every 10 to 60 minutes. Kittens are normally born inside a thin sac, which your cat should tear off, enabling them to breathe. For each kitten born, your cat will also pass an afterbirth placenta. If you are interested in animals, let's know more about them. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications bell and like. Snakes reproduce by internal fertilization and either give birth to live young or lay eggs, depending on the species. Female live-bearing snakes will find a sheltered location to give birth before abandoning the young to fend for themselves. Ovoviviparity also results in the birth of live young, but with an egg-laying twist. This process is a cross between oviparity and viviparity. A snake will lay eggs and hold them internally within the oviduct until they are ready to hatch and be released into the world as fully developed baby snakes. Mating and birthing takes place in remote rookery locations, safe from humans and predators. Puppying: the females have gestation period of 11 months and give birth from June to August. Mothers may give birth to a single pup on land or in water. Pups are born on land. Puppying may last from a few minutes to an hour. Approximately 63% of pups are delivered head first. The female vocalizes often during and immediately after the birth of her pup. Giant panda gestation is 3 to 5 months, and cubs are usually born in late summer, August mostly, in hidden hollow trees or natural dens, where branches, dry grass, etc. are made into a kind of nest. Normally, giant pandas give birth to a single cub. Why are baby pandas so small? Study explores. They also break down muscle mass to feed protein to the fetus. However, such a process can only be short-lived before it poses a threat to the mother's health. In other words, the energy resources are limited, so the babies must be born prematurely, resulting in small cubs. Giant panda cub may stay with their mothers for up to 3 years before striking out on their own. This means that a wild female, at best, can produce young only every other year. The female tiger gives birth to her litter of cubs. She will usually choose a spot that's secluded and covered to have her babies. Typically, the birth of a litter of cubs takes about an hour, with cubs being born every 15 to 20 minutes. Dolphins give birth to a single baby. The baby is usually born tail first, unlike most mammals, to minimize the risk of drowning. The birth can take a couple of hours. The newborn dolphin is fully dependent on his or her mother and suckles thick paste-like milk from her nipples until he or she is able to catch fish. Dolphin youngsters stay with their mothers during the teenage years until they mature at between 5 and 10 years old. Dolphin mothers are brilliant teachers and invest a great deal of time and energy preparing their youngsters carefully for independence. They teach them how to find and catch prey, how to avoid dangers, how to interact with other dolphins, social skills, and how to find their way around their home range. Giraffes give birth standing up. The baby giraffe's head and hooves come out first, followed by the rest of the body, which then falls 6 feet to the ground with a crash. This rude, abrupt, and dramatic entry into the world is absolutely necessary for mother and calf's survival. Surprisingly, the 2-meter fall from their mother's womb to the ground below doesn't hurt baby giraffes, but rather helps them by snapping their short umbilical cords and tearing the amniotic sac. The shock of the landing also helps stimulate the little giraffe to take its first breaths. Amazing! Horses carry their foals in the uterus, with babies entering the world through the vaginal canal. Until later in the pregnancy, most mares don't become especially large. She may get up and down a few times, but she will give birth laying down. The amniotic sac will probably be the first part visible, followed by the head and legs. Once the amniotic sac is visible, it is generally a few minutes until the horse is born. If you are interested in animals, stay tuned.